Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepherd & Condon.
Welcome to the Panther Den at Milton High School. Tonight, the Milton Panthers host the Gulf Breeze Dolphins. Hi, everyone. Dan Sugar along with Jeff Price, who's back from his extended vacation, joining us here tonight at Milton as the Panthers prepare to take on the Gulf Breeze Dolphins. Milton 18-3 on the year. They just had their 6-game winning streak snapped their last time out Tuesday night. Gulf Breeze 11-8. They have lost 5 out of 6, and they've got lots of trouble, lots of problems that we'll talk about in a bit. But these two great rivals have put on some great shows in recent years, and we're hoping for one of those again tonight. Milton, though, 18-3.
Yeah, 18-3, and number 3 in Region 1. Obviously, the top 8 continue on to the playoffs. We'll get more into that as we go along tonight. Coach Joey Nieves came in and kind of revamped the program, back-to-back 20-win seasons. In steps 27-year coach Matt Anderson. This is his first year at Milton, came from Walton High School. He's a 4-time state champion, so, in 27 years, he's got quite the experience. But let's just get to the players here. It starts with the Robinson brothers, Sergio and Mateo. The senior duo combines for over 32 points of the 62 points the Panthers put up a game. A couple guys to keep an eye on tonight. The senior Caden Cooper, averaging a little over 8 points a game. And look, every team needs a three-point threat. The sophomore, Evan Lanasa, he's the sharpshooter for Coach Anderson in this Panther squad tonight.
All right, the flip side of that, Gulf Breeze, it was off to a great start this year. They've lost 5 out of 6. Part of that is it was a tough stretch of their schedule, and the games were down to the 1 or 2 possessions in the last 2 minutes or so. A big part of it is injuries and sickness, and 2 starters are out of the lineup again tonight. Brennan Hill, their point guard, will not play tonight. He's suffering from the flu, as is Carter Calloway. They did not play Tuesday night as the Dolphins lost at Crestview. So the Dolphins will depend a bit on Jacob Hernandez steps into the starting lineup at point guard, and James McMullion, who's been really a terrific player off the bench, now gets the start in place of Callaway. But the other players there in the starting lineup, Parker Boyd, Bobby Yelton, Michael Bailey, kind of the big 3 tonight. Bobby Yelton may be the best all-around player around. He does it all, 12.5 points, 6.5 rebounds. Michael Bailey, 3-year starter. He's the one senior who gets a lot of playing time on this team when everybody's healthy. 14 points, terrific shooter. But they're going to need really big nights from all of those guys to prevail tonight at Milton. It's Milton and Gulf Breeze. Tip-off coming right up. All right, the two teams are on the floor. We are ready to go. Milton Panthers on the home court in the white with the black and old gold trim, and the Gulf Breeze Dolphins in black jerseys with white trim. Milton with the ball to get things started here against zone defense, it would appear. No one's cut through yet. Yeah, no, that is man-to-man as Yelton chases his man down. That's Sergio Robinson getting it over to the three-pointer attempt by
Zaylen
Gaines and coming away with a Gulf Breeze. We mentioned Milton, of course, had their winning streak snapped at 6 games. They had won 16 out of 17. Three-pointer from the corner at Bailey.
Bailey getting started early. Pensacola State College 3-point shot.
Well, they're going to need a big night out of him. He has had 28 in one game. That's the highest point total any Dolphin has had this year. He's been their leading scorer in 6 of the 17 games.
He shoots at 43% behind the arc.
Ball batted out of bounds by Yelton defensively. And we set the starting lineup for you earlier. As we mentioned, Jacob Hernandez wears number 2. He's getting the start at point guard in place of Brennan Hill, who's been really a leader on this team. So a lot of responsibility on Jacob Hernandez's shoulders. Down the lane, that's Gaines, and he traveled. Challenging him defensively over there was number 1 Parker Boyd, the 6'2 junior, and draws and forces the turnover. This will be a key as the full court pressure and how Hernandez can handle that, among others, will be a big factor on how successful Gulf Breeze is in keeping this game competitive, especially in the early going. Three-pointer on the way, and that is Parker Boyd for 3.
How about that?
As a team, Gulf Breeze shoots 39% on three-pointers. They take 17 a game. They may take more tonight, especially if they keep falling. Three-pointer on the way. Rebound comes off. That was Sergio Robinson with the miss. That's Yelton coming down the floor. Bailey guarded by Mateo Robinson. Man-to-man defense by the Panthers. Down low to Yelton. And that is Hernandez with the jumper. That's off the mark. And out front, Sergio Robinson will set things up. Boy, it seems like they've been here forever because they were such big factors, the Robinson twins, Sergio and Mateo, on the two teams. Joey Nieves coached, but when they were sophomores, they were a huge part of Milton's turnaround success. Baseline, nice job defensively.
He stepped on it.
And forcing the turnover as trying to drive on him was Evan Lanasa. And a nice job getting to the baseline by Jacob Hernandez to shut him off. Hernandez has had limited minutes this year, but obviously forced into a bigger role tonight. That long rebound is pulled off by Caden Cooper. Here comes Cooper to lead the Panthers up, still looking for their first points, almost 3 minutes into this first quarter. Gaines pounded there by James McMullion, 33. Man-to-man defense at this point.
There it is, good
Driving
shot.
and scoring. Nice effort by Caden Cooper, getting Milton on the board.
Yeah, Milton really hadn't worked anything inside. And a quick turnover. Lanasa gets it back to Cooper again.
So just like that.
Almost got another one. Lanasa. He's a hound on the inbound.
Three-pointer all alone. Lanasa just rims it out. Rebound kept alive nicely by Parker Boyd. And it was Bobby Yelton bringing it up. Cut off by a double team there. Yelton kicks it out to Bailey, who hit his first 3. His first 2 threes. Yelton, that's off the mark and high in the air to pull down the rebound. Sergio Robinson. And losing it. Out of bounds. We are not taking the timeout. We're going to let it keep going there. We're checking to see if we're going to take a media timeout. We'll do it after the 4-minute mark. So they were taking the timeout. And
it's always appreciative.
Yeah.
Sometimes we wonder if we're going to get them in. Yeah, boy, Lanasa on the inbound of all things. We talked about it. This last matchup when Milton won, there was 21 turnovers forced by the Panthers defense, and you saw a couple of them right there.
Well, that has been a problem at times for Gulf Breeze. They don't really have, even when Brennan Hill was healthy, you know, he is playing point guard for the first time this year, so they didn't really have their go-to point guard they've had in recent years. You know, guys like Max Schneid and Trey Ennis and those types. Nice play defensively by Lanasa. That's his third steal.
Yeah. Panthers are on the move.
And that's Sergio for three. That's off the mark. Too long. Long rebound comes off to Gaines. Lanasa again. McMullion was battling for the rebound and knocked out of bounds by Milton. So it'll be the Gulf Breeze ball. We will take a timeout. 3:27 to go first quarter. And Gulf Breeze off to a 2-point lead.
You're watching Jeans Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepherd, and Condon.
.327 to play first quarter. Gulf Breeze scored the first 6 points of the game, hitting a couple of three-pointers. Milton's come back, forced a couple of turnovers, and led to 2 baskets at 6-4. Gulf Breeze playing short-handed tonight. 2 of their regular starters, including their point guard, unable to play. They have the flu tonight, so Gulf Breeze trying to make the best of things with a bit of a short-handed lineup, and that's one thing they do, and they can't get it to go. Yelton layup off the back iron.
There it is.
Now we're all tied up.
Well, a great pass, McMullion to Yelton. Yelton misses it, and it leads to a fast break right there.
Boy, lucky to get out of that trap as McMullion, as Bailey picked it up and then turned it over.
It's 4 steals.
Lanasa. That's Mateo Robinson off the mark. And that dead ball. So
we saw that in the JV game.
We did see that on a free throw. Yeah, just rested right up there. I haven't seen that twice in the same game.
No.
All right, into the lineup now for, well, that is Brennan Hill. 14 checking in the lineup. Brennan Hill for Gulf Breeze.
How about that?
He wasn't starting. I guess, yeah, they said he's not going to start. They didn't say he's not going to play. He likes to go 100 miles an hour. I'm not sure if he has all the RPMs tonight. We'll see.
Spencer Smith for Gulf Breeze.
Yeah, Spencer Smith also in 24. So, all right, we'll see how Brennan Hill holds up. He did not play Tuesday. He's had the flu for a while. He was hounding him early in the week. So that's Yelton. Back to Bailey, who hit the first 3 of the game. Back out to Brennan Hill. Approaching the 2-minute mark here, the first quarter, 6-6 tie. That's Parker Boyd 1. Down low they go to Yelton. Bobby Yelton kicks it back out to Brennan Hill. Off the mark. Yelton gives it inside and lay it up and in. That's Smith. Spencer Smith with the basket. Nice assist to Yelton.
Again, Panthers moving quickly. Gaines goes it up for 3.
Milton has their first lead at 9-8. Another trap. Yelton stays in bounds, gets it to Hill, and out of bounds. Another turnover by Gulf Breeze. So turnovers a problem in 3 of their losses this year, and with this makeshift lineup tonight, and the Milton defensive pressure, it's a problem again here in the early going. The Panthers with the 1-point lead.
Zy Hudson taking the ball up, checks in for Lanasa. Number 1 right there.
Zy Hudson, 5'8" sophomore. really been terrific. He was first man off the bench. Great point guard with a great assist to turnover ratio. That jumper pulled down, rebound. Parker Boyd pulls it down for Gulf Breeze. Boyd hands it off to Bailey, fumbles it, saves it to Yelton. He dribbles out of a double team. Bailey alone. Long rebound, saved by Hill. Boyd, three-pointer.
That's his second tonight at Pensacola State College, three-point shot. Oh, wide open.
Nice play and a nice drive and basket by Caden Cooper. Ties the game at 11.
Cooper's got 6 tonight. Under 30 to play here in the first.
Spencer Smith turns it over. That's at least 7 turnovers here in the first quarter for Gulf Breeze.
Oh, what a move.
Sergio Robinson gets the basket and Milton regains the lead.
Under 10.
9 as he crosses the timeline. Brendan Hill kicks it back out. Three-pointer blocked. And almost saved by Sergio with 3.3, but he was on the sideline. So Parker Boyd, who had the shot blocked. Now what kind of play do they want to run? They'll put DJ Banks in the game for Gulf Breeze. Replacing whom? Not Boyd.
And no one.
He's coming back out. All right, 3.3. Boyd.
Yeah, get it in.
Bailey, three-pointer on the way. And the rebound pulled off by Zy Hudson. So, for all the turnovers, Gulf Breeze has to feel fortunate to be down by 2 after the first 8 minutes of play. 13-11, Milton after 1.
You're watching Jeans Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepherd, and Condon.
Yeah, 1 quarter in the books here at Milton. The Milton Panthers with a 2-point lead on Gulf Breeze. Milton's defense forcing 6 turnovers unofficially there in that first quarter. So they're on a pace to do a lot of damage defensively. And Gulf Breeze with 3 3-pointers on the board in that first quarter and hanging in there. Mateo Robinson throws it up. Rebound pulled down by Yelton. And Gaines trying to knock it loose. Yelton gets it to Spencer Smith, who turns it over. And that's Mateo Robinson and a 3-point opportunity.
Brendan Hill tried. Grabbed him too late. Look at this. Defense turning into easy offense.
Brennan Hill picks up his first foul. That is the first foul of the game, right?
We had just talked about that at the break.
Three-point play for Mateo Robinson. His first points of the night. And it's a 16-11 Milton lead. And again, another turnover. Mateo Robinson has the ball knocked loose, and they wave off the basket. Foul is on DJ Banks. Second foul against the Dolphins.
You see Robinson saying it was continuation. Continuation. I was trying to go up.
Yeah, they're giving him continuation a little more in college ball this year, and of course, obviously the NBA. If you checked into the game in the last 8 minutes, they gave you continuation.
Yep.
But not here at the high school level.
Not yet.
Gaines all alone for three. Rebound batted out to Bailey. Keeping it alive nicely was James McMullion, the sophomore. Young team for Gulf Breeze. 7 juniors, 2 sophomores, just 3 seniors on the roster. McMullion gets it over to Parker Boyd. Here's one of the sophomores, Yelton, who gets it back from Bailey and lays it up and in. And is fouled.
And one. So what, just what the doctor ordered. That's going to be on Cooper.
Cooper's first foul on Milton tonight. You're going to look at it in the...
Yep, right there.
Lays it up and in. Yep. So Bobby Yelton, 73% free throw shooter on the year.
Nice. Pete Moore Chevrolet free throw.
And he pulls the Dolphins back within 2 of the Panthers. Back in the zone, 2-3 zones for Gulf Breeze. Changing up defensive looks tonight. Three-pointer blocked. Sergio tried to shoot it, and it was blocked by McMullion, I believe. Yelton gets it from Bailey. Parker Boyd with the drive. Rebound pulled off by Yelton. Blocked from behind and recovered nicely. That was Caden Cooper with the play, and now he's dishing it off to Mateo. In and out. Flying in to keep the rebound alive was Yelton, but it's off Gulf Breeze. It'll stay with Milton. Panthers with the 2-point lead here, 2 minutes into the second quarter.
The replay here.
First time into the game, Xander Harper wearing number 13 for the Panthers. He's into the ball game, replacing Caden Cooper. Up to Zy Hudson. Hudson to Harper. And that's Gaines, who's off to a nice start tonight. With the drive on McMullion. Playing man-to-man right now. Bailey guarding Mateo. Ball knocked loose and out of bounds by Boyd.
Ooh, I don't know. That may have been Colt Green's ball.
Yeah, that might have been one of those. I'm either going to call the foul or I'm going to hit it to Milton.
Exactly.
That could have been. Gaines shut off nicely by Yelton, helping out defensively. Hudson now working on Hernandez. Yelton defensively on Gaines. Good patience by Milton. Gaines kicks it out to Hudson for 3.
Oh, man.
Zy Hudson with his first points of the night. The three-pointer puts Milton up by 5.
Yes, Hudson strips it away.
Out of bounds on the turnover. Great play by Zy Hudson, and did a heck of a job throwing it off Hernandez out of bounds.
Nice little check back in for Gaines.
And certainly could be a real factor in this game, even though Brennan Hill has played a few minutes tonight. Callaway we have not seen. It's still a bit of a shorthanded lineup, and Milton's depth may be an issue as this game goes on. They have the 5-point lead right now. A lot of patience offensively against the man-to-man defense. Lanasa, who had a hot hand early. And Zy Hudson.
Playing the patient game.
4.5 to go here in the second quarter. Hudson looking for Sergio, working on Bailey down low, and now at the high post. And now going baseline. Mateo Robinson lays it up and in. Through contact.
Great shot.
He's got 5, and it's a 21-14 7-point lead. And again, that full court pressure.
And Yelton played that about as good as you can play it defensively, so credit Robinson.
Yelton gets the ball off to Hernandez. Bailey, his shot is blocked by Sergio, and then Sergio releases, but there's Parker Boyd to intercept. McMullion in the lane, gives it off to Boyd, lay it up and in. Nice play.
How about that tournament?
Man,
back and forth.
Gulf Breeze really needed that too, because Milton really looks like they're just poised to make a run. Off the mark. Hernandez, nice rebound. Here, they set up the pressure quickly off a rebound. Well done. That's well coached right there. And here comes the trap, but they're going to dribble through it is McMillian. Three-pointer on the way. That is short. Boyd chases his own rebound. Saved by Yelton.
Wow.
Hernandez comes down with it. Took it away from his teammate McMullion. So the 5'7" Hernandez took it away from the 6'4" McMullion.
Yelton working down low.
Yelton
trying to get him going.
To Bailey. Bailey needs it down.
There. Just what the doctor ordered.
Three-pointer, that's 21-19. And timeout on the court, 2:51 to play, second quarter. And Gulf Breeze is pulled within 2 here at Milton.
You're watching Jeans Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepard, and Condon.
.251 to play here in the second quarter. There you take a look at the huddle. Gulf Breeze coach Ryan Ottensmeyer in his 9th year as head coach. Gulf Breeze, 7 straight winning seasons at Gulf Breeze. Trying to make it 8 this year, but with all the injuries and having dropped 5 out of 6, that string may be in jeopardy, although they're certainly playing well tonight against probably the best team in the area.
We got some tough games coming up. The Bar, South Walton, and Choctaw finish out.
Backdoor nice.
Oh!
And a great assist by Mateo Robinson. The brothers combining. Coming out of the timeout running that play from the back door.
We talked about it in the open. The brothers. Begins with them.
You know, Matt Anderson, the coach, and we'll talk more about him when we get an opportunity. So he says Sergio might be the best athlete he's ever coached. And when you think of some of the players he's coached, we'll go over that. That's pretty impressive. There's Yelton, again guarded tightly by Xander Harper.
Quite a high honor.
Yeah. Timeout. Gulf Breeze takes it. We will stay right here. 23-19 Milton. Take a look at Matt Anderson over on the Milton bench and talk a little bit about his resume. There he's gentleman from behind. Yeah, his 27th year as a head coach. He played basketball at Ponce de Leon, graduated in 1980. He was the SGA president, got a leadership scholarship to Troy, went to Troy, then went to Chipola, then UWF, and finished up at Florida State. But he took his first coaching job. He was an assistant at Malone back in the early 90s. They won a couple of state championships under John Ellerby with Coach Anderson. There he is in the middle of the huddle. And then he took over as head coach and won state championships his first 4 years as head coach, 1995, 96, 97, 98. So he set the standard, that his own standard was kind of hard to meet. Moved on to Ponce de Leon, his alma mater, got to the Elite Eight there, coached at Bay, went to Chipola as an assistant under Greg Heyer. They were number 3 in the nation in 2009. Went to Graceville, Mariana, took them to the Final Four. 5 years at Lincoln, 3 times in the Elite Eight there. In the last 3 years at Walton. They won their first district championship in 7 years under him at Walton. So after 3 years here, coming over here, Tim Short hiring him to take over this proud Milton program. Down low, that is Smith. White, Sergio with 2 block shots. And we'll keep it here after the foul called. Sergio Robinson with the 2 block shots. Fouls on Jaeger Kearns, number 20. We talked about some of the, Matt Anderson said Sergio might be the best athlete he's ever had. Well, when he was at Chipola, they had 9 players who went on to play Division I ball. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
he had Demetrius.
Pretty high on.
He had Demetrius King, who was a great player in that Malone dynasty in the 90s and won 4 state championships in a row. He was on one of those teams, a couple of those teams. So he's had some great players, and he says Sergio might be the best athlete of the bunch. Kearns with the drive, can't follow and can't finish, and they can't follow, but coming up with a loose ball, but committing the foul was Xander Harper.
That's going to be another foul on Kearns.
Oh, that was on Kearns. Okay, 2 on Kearns quickly. Harper's one who came up with it, but Kearns committed the foul. There's still a 4-point game again. Great effort by Zy Hudson, knocks it loose. Parker Boyd thought there might have been, or should have been, I think he's looking for a foul, but, there better not be any soft passes, and you better not wait for a pass, because it's not going to get there. Brendan Hill back in the lineup, number 14 for Gulf Breeze, gets it to Bailey, to Boyd, and he'll take it all the way. Blocked by Harper, Xander Harper. Matt Anderson says he's the most improved player in the program. Nice defensive play there. Harper's got it, number 13. Leaner, in and out, rebound pulled off by Yelton.
It was almost knocked back from Milton.
Knocked loose, but Hill came up with it. Final minute of the second quarter, 4-point Milton lead. Bailey guarded tightly by Mateo Robinson. Bailey hit that early 3. He's got 6. He's hit 2 threes tonight, actually. Boyd for 3. Yelton,
rebound.
Offensive rebound, and he will go to the line. 28 and a half seconds to go. That foul is on Sergio Robinson. Sergio's got at least 3 block shots. There he is. Nice job. Mateo Robinson did a nice job blocking him off the boards, but Sergio's the one who reached in and got the foul. So Yelton, 73% shooter, back to the line. Rattles that one in.
Banging down low tonight. Looks like Gaines will check in.
Yelton
for Harper. Pete Morris Chevrolet free throw. Needs money.
Well, Yelton, the sophomore, is now 3 for 3 from the line tonight.
30 to go.
Point. That's the 2 free throws there, make it a 2-point game. 3-pointer. Jaeger Kearns came up short. Now, Gulf Breeze with a chance to tie. Final 15 seconds. That is DJ Banks hounded. Yelton up top. Yelton has it blocked out of bounds. It'll still be Gulf Breeze ball, 4.5 to go. Kearns with a block shot. That was a heck of a Euro step. That was. Inbound to Bailey. 3 seconds, launches the 3. That's off the mark, and that'll do it for the first half. A good first half we've had. Gulf Breeze. Coach Ryan Ottensmeyer's got to be happy the way his team battled. If they can clean up the turnover battle, they can maybe hang in this thing in the second half. Milton leading 23-21 at the half.
You're watching Jeans Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepard, and Condon.
The two sports I participate in are basketball and track, and I like the competitiveness about basketball and the energy that it brings to me. And in track, I just like to jump. My post-graduation plans are to go to college and continue my studies and play basketball. I would like to thank my mom, my cousins, my family, all the different coaches I've had, and anyone who just helped in general.
Hi, I'm Gary Winkler with Reef Runner Remodeling and Repair. At Reef Runner Remodeling and Repair, we understand the value of education and teamwork that is gained through high school sports. That's why we are a proud supporter of student athletes everywhere.
Thank you, Reef Runner Remodeling and Repair, for giving me the opportunity to compete for Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Here are the best high school hoops plays from across the country.
Clear for takeoff. Number 3. You've been waiting for that one. Like a breeze flight flying into Charleston International.
No, that wasn't a Breeze Airways. That was Spirit Airlines.
With the ball, here comes Williams. He'll run down the floor and dunk it with one hand.
Oh, and blocked by Antonacci from behind. The sophomore skies in the air and blocks it away.
Here's a pass out front. Platts is going to try that 30-footer and bury this one. Wow, that's long-range 3.
That should be 3.5 points. There's a perimeter game. Look inside for the alley. Oop! Oh my goodness! From the top of Mount Everett comes flying in. Wow. And a turnover.
Look at that. Look at that.
Welcome back to Milton, the Panther Den at Milton High School. The Milton Panthers holding a 2-point lead over Gulf Breeze here at the half. A very competitive first half. Probably about as competitive as we could hope for. Gulf Breeze playing maybe not as shorthanded as we thought. Brendan Hill, their point guard, we thought was out with the flu, but he did not start, but he came back and played. And they've hung in there. A lot of turnovers been a problem for Gulf Breeze. Milton Panthers defense, they live off that. Matt Anderson's teams always have. And they've done some damage, but Gulf Breeze has done well to hang in there at 23-21. Our Jeans Flooring hardwood feature tonight. This is a rich tradition here at Milton. The Panthers, Murray Rutledge coached those teams in the early 2000s and late 90s. They reached the Final Four in 1973, 81 with the great Randy Allen, who went on to play some NBA ball. 95, 97, and the 2006 team played for the state championship, falling to Sarasota Booker 54-51. Current Milton principal Tim Short is the one who coached that team, Adam Allen's team. All right, we are at the half. Teams back on the floor, back for the third quarter here on High School Hoops.
You're watching Jeans Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepherd, and Condon.
All right, Ryan Ottensmeyer with his Gulf Breeze lineup. Here you see Michael Bailey there, number 12. And back there's Bobby Yelton, 10. Parker Boyd, James McMullion, and Jacob Hernandez, the 5, who started the game, looks set to start the second half as well.
All right. Quite the entertaining first half.
First half, Gulf Breeze raced to a 6-0 lead. Kind of had shades of the Choctaw Fort Walton game a week and a half or 2 weeks ago when Choctaw scored the first 8 points of the game, and then what a battle they had down the stretch. And Choctaw hitting a three-pointer at the end to win it. And pull off that upset. Gulf Breeze trying to do something similar here tonight at Milton. The Panthers led in that first half by Caden Cooper. I had with 6 points, and also Sergio Robinson with 6. 8 points for Parker Boyd for Gulf Breeze. The ball deflected, but still got to Yelton. That pass deflected and saved, but saved to Yelton. He'll lay it up and in. So nice defensive work by Milton, but Gulf Breeze is able to get it. It's the old line, don't save the ball under your own basket.
Yep.
And it cost them. So Yelton with the basket. And we're all tied at 23. Third tie of the game. Milton led by as many as 7 in the first half. Ball knocked loose by Bailey, but recovered nicely by Sergio Robinson. He'll stay out front, guarded by Parker Boyd. And gets it backdoor. Boyd turned his back. Nice pass by Gaines. Sergio gets the basket. Here comes the trap on Hernandez. They handle it this time. Yelton finds an open Bailey in the corner. Yelton couldn't come down with the rebound. Instead, it's going to be Caden Cooper coming out with it. He had a nice first half. There's Mateo Robinson. Down the lane he goes, and they'll count the basket. Foul is on McMullion. And a three-point opportunity for Mateo Robinson.
There's your continuation you were talking about.
Well,
that one actually looked like continuation.
Yeah, that was legit. By the way, our officials from the Miracle Strip Officials Association, three-point play by Mateo Robinson builds the lead to 28-23. Derek Gardner's the referee, Thomas Young and Tracy Holt. There they are. Doing a nice job tonight. Bailey doesn't take it this time. Instead, Hernandez will take the three. That's off the mark. Strong rebound again, pulled down by Cooper.
Cooper's having a heck of a night.
Yeah, he is. So is Gaines. Sergio Robinson for three.
Oh, man, he's heating up. It was tied.
Biggest lead of the night is 8 points for Milton. Parker Boyd nowhere to go, finds Yelton at the high post. Bailey, off balance three, spins out. Yelton, offensive board.
Oh, tough inside by Yelton.
Nine points now for Bobby Yelton. Sergio.
Uh-oh. Look at this.
Couldn't get it to go. Yelton comes up with a rebound after Bailey kept it alive. Parker Boyd for three.
Oh, there it is. He's got 11. Pensacola State College three-point shot. That's his third three tonight.
Three-point game again. Three-pointer on the way from Cooper.
Ooh. Cooper's got 9.
You know, Matt Anderson talks about his Sergio is playing point guard. There's Bailey for three. He has not found the range tonight after hitting that first three. Mateo Robinson, what a move.
So just like Gulf Breeze, feel like they get going, and then Milton answers right back and takes that momentum.
But that backcourt of Milton, you have Cooper, Sergio playing point guard for the first time this year, and moving over from short shooting guard last year. Yelton hits the J. 4:14 to play. Timeout on the floor. If it's a full timeout, we'll take it with them. Timeout on the floor. No, it's a 30. We'll stay right here. 4:14 to play. It's a 30, so we'll stay here. 36-30. Milton leading by 6.
Well, Yelton, 6 points here early in the third, keeping them in the ball game.
Yeah, the name's familiar. His mom is a women's coach at UWF, Stephanie Yelton, who was quite a player in her day and has done a marvelous job with that UWF program. I think they were 14-4, something like that last I checked. Men's program doing great. Hudson Rowe, who was playing a year ago at Gulf Breeze, is a freshman at UWF. And they're, I think, 15-4 in that neighborhood. So Argo's having a nice year in the hardwood.
Just about everything.
That could have been a hardwood feature.
There you go. We'll work on it.
Yeah,
we still got
three more games to figure that out.
Fine tune it.
Yeah. 36-30. Milton with a 6-point lead after the short timeout. There's Lanasa. Lanasa came up with those 3 steals in the first quarter.
There he is.
There's a three-pointer on the way. He's a good three-point shooter as well.
Talk about Evan Lanasa in the open. He was a three-point threat for him, and there you go.
Biggest lead of the night now, 9 points for Milton.
Oh, great
nice
pass.
Assist by Yelton as he found Parker Boyd. You look at some of the scoring, the stat lines that Yelton's put together this year. He's had 3 double-doubles. The first one was, there's a three-pointer by Cooper. That's 4 threes here in the third quarter.
Now a 10-point lead.
Yelton for 3. Might have rushed it. Rebound pulled down by Cooper. Nasa Gaines is hanging out in that left corner looking for it. Here comes Mateo. He finds Gaines.
Good move, gets his own rebound. Oh, no, couldn't hang on to it.
Saved nicely by McMullion, but it's saved to Lanasa. Sergio for 3. That hit the standard above the basket. Timeout. We'll take a timeout on the floor. 2:39 to play third quarter. Milton has opened it up to 10 points here on High School Hoops.
You're watching Gene's Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepherd, and Condon.
.239 to play here in the third quarter. Milton has opened up a 10-point lead, their biggest lead of the night. The margin was 23-21 at the half. And you always had the sense that kind of Gulf Breeze is hanging on for dear life and doing the best they could to stay close.
Obviously shorthanded a little bit tonight.
Yep. Although Brennan Hill, one of the guys we thought was not going to play tonight, fighting the flu, he is back on the court. Obviously limited minutes for Hill. He did not play Tuesday night at Crestview. Carter Calloway, another starter, did not play the other night and is not playing tonight. We haven't seen him tonight, don't expect to. So it is a shorthanded lineup, but there's Brennan Hill in the lineup here in the final 2.5 minutes of the third quarter. Parker Boyd with the ball, working on Gaines, back to Hill. Hill throws it up, and Boyd follows it in.
The boys got 15 tonight.
Well, they needed that one. Just over 2 minutes. Milton, very patient. Gulf Breeze sits back. Playing man-to-man defense. Ball deflected by Bailey out of bounds. It might have gone off Mateo, or did it? Mateo Robinson, and referee's going to talk about it. Officials going to talk about it. Tracy Holt and Thomas Young discuss it, and they'll change the call.
Check out that replay, see if we can tell.
Yeah, and you'll see what Tracy Holt did not see the deflection by Bailey from his angles. That's good officiating for those two, and Thomas Young had the better angle, and they got the call right. Good job. Mateo Robinson lays it up, can't get it to go, gets his own rebound.
It's tough.
And the foul on Yelton. Check that, Bailey gets called for the foul.
Replay out right here.
Good effort by Mateo.
It's tough inside.
So Mateo Robinson goes back to the free throw line. .65% from the line this year. Final 2 minutes of this third quarter.
This might be the most colorful shoe game we've had. Maybe ever. Like if you look on TV, just there's just some nice shoes out here tonight.
They really are.
They're bringing the A game.
Yeah.
You're a big shoe guy, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's in the name. Yelton down low with Sergio on him. Three-pointer from Boyd. And rebound. Battle for Gaines, taking it away from Brennan Hill. Gaines with a 3-inch advantage there.
Hudson back in the game for the Panthers.
Panthers have gotten a lot of production out of a lot of people tonight.
What a step through.
And then tipped up and in.
Cooper.
By Cooper. 46-34. 12-point lead, and again, the biggest lead of the night. 1 minute to go in the third. Hill, guarded by Gaines. Toss that one away, yeah.
Here we go.
Sergio.
Oh, everybody went silent. They knew what was coming.
40 seconds to go, and it's gotten out of hand now. 14-point Milton lead as they have opened it up here in the third quarter. They led by 2 at halftime, and that lead is now 12. Or check that, 14. They've outscored them by 12. And there's a foul going to be called probably on Mateo. Mateo Robinson called for the foul. 20 seconds to go. Landon Bailey is up off the Gulf Breeze bench for the first time tonight. Freshman, younger brother of Michael Bailey.
He was in earlier.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, in the first half. He came in the last couple minutes.
I got to start showing up for rehearsal.
Well, you write down like 75 things at once. So I don't know how you keep up anyway.
Yeah, apparently I didn't. Ball knocked loose and stolen nicely by Zy Hudson, and ahead.
Oh, the Robinson brothers at it again.
It is showtime here at Milton. There's another steal. That was offline from our angle. Looked like it had a chance, but a big third quarter for Milton. They take a 50-34 lead into the fourth quarter here in Milton.
You're watching Gene's Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepard, and Condon.
8 minutes left to play. Milton with a 27-13 third quarter has blown it open.
That'll do it to you.
And they did it the way they did damage in the first half, and we said Gulf Breeze had to feel lucky to be down by 2 after all the turnovers in the first half, and again, another rash of turnovers. A little 8 o'clock lightning here at Milton, and a big run for them. And they've opened up a 50-34 lead as we go into the final 8 minutes of play. Mateo Robinson has the ball knocked loose for a moment by Bailey. Gaines out front. Jaeger Kearns in the ball game, number 20 with the ball right there. Gaines launches the 3. Rebound chased down by Sergio, gives it back to Gaines, and he'll find Kearns from the corner.
Oh! Kearns gets involved. Pensacola State College, 3-point shot. If you think the pressure was going to, tone back down, forget about it. Panthers right back at it.
Man, this was competitive halfway through the third quarter. And now, a minute and 15 seconds into the fourth, it's a 19-point game. Another turnover. That was knocked loose, and Mateo ends up with a slam dunk at the other end.
Not his most impressive dunk here tonight. But we'll take it.
Another steal, and they turn it over, trying to turn that into a basket the other end. And Matt Anderson clapping his hands on the Milton bench.
Gotta love
He'll take a turnover like that if it's, if you lose a turnover that's going to end up with a layup at the other end.
Yep.
You can live with that.
Talk about it in the first matchup. Gulf Breeze turned it over 21 times. I believe they're on pace for at least that here tonight.
Yeah, the worst game in that regard was the loss to Fort Walton Beach early in the year where they had 27 turnovers. They had cleaned a lot of that up inside. Spencer Smith needs a roll, doesn't get it, and then the rebound is ripped away. Zai Hudson takes it away from Yelton. Spencer Smith, wearing 24, is one of the best volleyball players in the nation. Plays for the USA under 18 international team, and he did when he was 16. So that's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty. Played in the Beach World Championships, 18 and under World Championships in Qatar earlier this year or last year. Nice spin, nice job knocking it loose by Boyd. Took it away from Sergio. Boyd takes it all the way and has it knocked loose. Yelton comes up with it. That is Spencer, or rather,
Landon Bailey.
That was Landon Bailey, the freshman, launching his first shot of his varsity career. Landon Bailey averaging about 15, 16 points for the JV team this year as a freshman. Called up with the Dolphins shorthanded. But Bailey's one of the guys that we'll be counting on in the future, Ryan Ottensmeyer. So we'll see how he handles this defensive pressure. It's really a baptism of fire for a point guard against this defensive pressure. Yelton launches the 3. That's off the mark, and that's up and over the backboard out of play. 4:57 to play, fourth quarter. It's a 21-point lead up off the Gulf Breeze bench. Noah Cannon, number 20, into the ball game, along with Patrick Duvall, number 11. Duvall, a senior, so getting some playing time for them as the game has gotten out of control for the Dolphins.
Hernandez checks back in for the Dolphins. And then believe we've got Harper, number 13 for the Panthers. Andrew Harper.
Both teams have a lot of talent in their underclasses. For Gulf Breeze, as we mentioned, young team, 7 juniors and 2 sophomores, now freshmen on this roster tonight as well.
It's Kearns.
Rebound kept alive.
Look at this.
Can't convert. Another rebound by Harper. That original rebound kept alive by Zaya Hudson. And that foul called on Noah Cannon. He is in the books with 1 foul.
I have 1 player with 2 fouls tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
It was kind of unheard of for us. Everybody else has 1. And Mateo down low.
Wow, that's just not stoppable. 57-34.
Well, Zy Hudson, I've been thoroughly impressed with him. Defensively, what he's been able to get going offensively for the guys.
It is now a 15-0 run for Milton. Going back to about the 2:20 mark of the third quarter. Spencer Smith can't get the finger roll. You know, probably not entirely fair to Spencer Smith because he doesn't play a lot because he's only played 10 games because he travels to play volleyball.
Yeah.
That was a deal that he had with Ryan Ottensmeyer, number 24, you see, and with his volleyball future, his career, both as a beach player and, he's already been, I think he's been offered by Pepperdine, Ohio State, UC Davis, real top volleyball.
Well, you know the West Coast pretty well, so Pepperdine, UC Davis.
Yeah, Pepperdine. Timeout on the floor, 3:57. We'll go over all that again. We got tons of time. 3:57 to go, fourth quarter. It's all Milton.
You're watching Jeans Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepard, and Condon.
.357 to play here in the fourth quarter as Milton has used a 15-0 run over the last 6.5 minutes of clock time, starting about the 2:20 mark. That was the last basket by Gulf Breeze. Parker Boyd made it 42-34, and Milton went off on the tear. Keyed by Mateo Robinson, who has 8 points during this 15-0 run.
Mateo kind of taking over. Speaking of taking over,
there's Sergio trying to follow.
Yeah, Caden Cooper's had a heck of a game tonight. Of course, the Robinson brothers.
Jacob Hernandez into the front court. That's with Landon Bailey, number 32 for Gulf Breeze, getting his first varsity action tonight, the freshman. That's Hernandez there, guarded by Jacob Kearns. Jaeger Kearns, rather.
Tough defense.
That's just really good, just solid man-to-man. Not really no traps right now, just not giving them anything. Patrick Duval giving it up to Hernandez again. Here's Bailey. Three-pointer.
How about that? Getting his call up makes a big three. How about that for the young man, freshman?
That stops a 15-0 run. Another three-pointer on the way. Needs a bounce, doesn't get it. Offensive board, Xander Harper gets it back and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Milton. Got it back to Caden Cooper, who missed the original three. And now the Panthers empty the bench as well. Tate Rodriguez comes in, number 4, along with Jackson Poe. Keithan Johns, another sophomore, up off the bench and into the ballgame, number 11. And wholesale substitutions for the Panthers. Xander Harper, the sophomore, will key it in. 2.5 minutes to go. Talking about player of the game, your first suggestions, Mateo Robinson. He really did he was the key factor in that 15-0 run, which blew it open. Sergio Robinson had some big moments in the early going, forcing turnovers.
Caden Cooper.
Caden Cooper as well, yeah. There's Bailey lays it up and in under pressure.
How about Bailey for the and one opportunity?
Wow.
Again, Gulf Breeze being shorthanded, had to call Bailey up, and boy, the freshman.
Landon Bailey out ahead, and there's Xander Harper with, they call it on. I'm not sure if it was Harper or Mason Dickey who got called for the foul. Bailey with a three-point play. He had a three-point shot, now a three-point play. 6 points for the freshman Landon Bailey in his varsity debut. Final 2 minutes of the game.
Kind of the future for the programs right here.
Over back in is Hernandez, and nice job by Landon Bailey as he is replaced by Jacob Hernandez. Gulf Breeze plays Navarre tomorrow, hosts Navarre tomorrow. Then they travel to South Walton on the 27th and host Choctaw on the 29th. Milton at Pace tomorrow night. Then they host Mariana and travel to Crestview. That's the rest of the schedule. The district tournaments begin February 3rd. And Milton
Banks
off the mark, rebound kept alive by Smith and pulled down the offensive rebound.
Well, we got a pretty good game tomorrow. PHS at Washington.
We're back at it. PHS in Washington tomorrow. From Washington, nice backdoor cut. And lay it up and in by
Hernandez.
Jacob Hernandez.
Yeah, tomorrow should be a lot of fun. Washington moves about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we've seen Pensacola High. It'll be the second time we've seen them. The last time was against a similar team, Tate, doing the same thing. They some lineup changes at Pensacola High as well. We'll see how they handle the pressure tomorrow at Washington. Great rivals, PHS and Washington. We've had some great games between those two programs over the years. Final 40 seconds of the game. Milton will move to 19-3. Gulf Breeze will hope to look to had to double clutch that shot. Still had it online. Great defensive.
John's is about to get a big time block.
Noah Cannon still, it left his hand well. It just didn't get there.
He gave the Johns. He was waiting on it.
So the Panthers bouncing back from the loss at Fort Walton Beach 2 nights ago.
And Milton still play it tough.
Yep.
Those young cats getting an opportunity.
Well, that's, you're going to go in, you might as well play, right?
Oh!
Three-pointer. Speaking of that, Patrick Duvall, those are his first points of the year. Three-pointer for Duvall. It's his first 3 in 3 attempts, and that caps things off. 57-45 is the final. Milton winning by 12 with that 15-0 run over the third and fourth quarters to blow it open. Great noble effort by a shorthanded Gulf Breeze team, but Milton just too strong. They now move to 19-3 on the year, and Gulf Breeze falls to 11-9, and they've now dropped 6 out of 7 and just hoping to get healthy. All right, we'll be back to congratulate, talk to the winning team. The Milton Panthers are on the post-game show coming up.
You're watching Gene's Floor Coverings High School Hoops, presented by Emmanuel, Shepherd, and Condon.
And we're back at Milton, where the Milton Panthers on their home court have held serve with a 57-45 win over Gulf Breeze tonight. Gulf Breeze came in a little shorthanded, battling the flu a little bit, but you know Ryan Ottensmeyer. You've dealt with him before, so you knew you were going to get a really solid test tonight. How did you feel your team responded?
I felt like we played really well. We know they run great stuff offensively, and Ryan does a phenomenal job, one of the best around. But our guys answered by playing great defense and keeping pressure on the ball and, pushing it to where we wanted to push it. So I was very proud of our effort.
Forced so many turnovers tonight, which you did last time these two teams got together. I think maybe even more tonight, and that's obviously a big factor in this game. It's 2-point game of the half, and with all the turnovers you had, that kind of was the key for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, one of our goals is to try to get 20 turnovers a game or more out of the opponent, and I think we did that tonight. We've been working a lot on our ball pressure and things like that, so I felt like we did a really good job of that.
Coach, we were talking when we were preparing for the game, talking yesterday. We're talking about taking over this team and what you want to see them develop over the course of the year. What do you want to see now the rest of the way? You got a couple more games to go before you get into the postseason.
Right, we have 3 games left before we get into postseason. Just executing everything, especially offensively. Execution and then effort and intensity on defense, and continuing to force turnovers and create offense out of defense.
Now, obviously the twins, the Robinson brothers, we've been following, it seems, for 7-8 years now, but so they're going to get a lot of, but you were really balanced over the course of this. Everyone seeming to contribute defensively, people turning the ball over, and it was really a nice balanced effort.
Yeah, these guys, they've just grown. I mean, earlier in the year it was 2 or 3 man show, and now it's a 8 or 9 man show, and that's what you want to have going into the playoffs. And just really proud of our development and our hard work.
Well, when you have many people contribute the way they do, we have a hard time picking a player of the game. You made a 15-0 run over the third and fourth quarter to kind of blow it open, and Mateo Robinson was kind of in the middle of all that, both defensively and offensively. So he is our Closets by Design player of the game. Mateo, where are you? There. Come on up here. Don't hit him too hard. There's an oral exam. Mateo, first of all, congratulations. Great team effort. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
What about that? I mean, you've been in this program with this team for 3 years, been a big factor on this team for 3 years. How does this team, you now have some experience over different types of teams. How does this team, maybe not so much stack up comparing to other teams, but how has this program developed in the 3 years?
So we a young team. We got a bunch of great young players that really do their job.
How does that help you? I mean, you're a senior now. You were a young player on a team. You and your brother came in, and you were big factors as sophomores. But now that you're a senior, how does that change your approach, maybe?
It just make it where I don't got to do I don't got to do a lot for me. My teammates can do it.
What about this matchup tonight with Gulf Breeze? You've had some great battles with them over the years. How do they make it tough on you? And how did you respond to that tonight?
I mean, they just know how I play, and they just try to game plan to, to stop me. But,
what does this team now have to do from your perspective the rest of the way as you get ready for another postseason?
We got to practice hard, play hard, do everything hard. Go to school hard, everything.
All right, 18 points tonight. You are our Closets by Design player of the game, Mateo Robinson. Congratulations to you. Coach Matt Anderson. We have a trophy to present. Devin, do the honors. The Milton Panthers, winners tonight on High School Hoops, 57-45 over Gulf Breeze. There you go, James. Not me, them. They're the show.